Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Ah, let's see. I was just reading the comments as just before we got started, and it's right. It's right. It's good to be back. I am glad to be here. My voice is going to be a little, it is what it is. I have been having some issues still. Of course, you guys, patrons know I've kept you guys posted. Anyways, hopefully our audio is live and video everything is good. All right. Yeah, we're back. We're trying. I didn't want to miss another week. It's been making me crazy. I've been missing everybody. Um, Still dealing with issues. I had 3 different rounds of steroids, like back to back to back. Can hear me good. Excellent. Thank you, Rob. I'm just priming my colors as we sit here. All good on your side. Great. All right. Anyhow, after 3 rounds of steroids that had just wreaking havoc on my body, and breathing treatments and everything else, we're here. So I'm glad to be here. I said, you know what? I have to do my Christmas cards. And I didn't think I was going to be able to go live today because I woke up this morning and one of the issues I get with my fibromyalgia is my eyes will just stop focusing. Just all of a sudden, they won't want to focus. And the more I try, the worse it gets. And of course, the smaller whatever I'm working on is, the worse it gets. So yeah, but luckily it cleared this afternoon and I can see, so we're gonna do it. It's just I just figured I have to make my Christmas cards anyways. I was excited to come hang out with you guys, and I thought, you know what, I'll just work on some Christmas cards and you guys can hang out and we can chit chat and get caught up. So let me bring this down to the desk. I believe, yep, there we go. We are correct. See, it's like my whole setup everything was a little wonky. I was like, oh, I don't know. Hopefully everything goes off without a hitch, but it's live, so anything can happen. Who knows? Today I am using, excuse me, I just had the box right here with me because I was just pulling them all out. Oh, it's behind me. If I can pick this up, it's heavy. Wow. I can do it. There we go. Okay, so today I'm going to be using these right here, which is the Strathmore watercolor cards. I have a box of 100. I linked the box of 50. I've had this box forever. I used them last year. Anytime I have to make, I love these because anytime I have to make a card, I just grab one of these, and they are a cellulose paper. I think it's equivalent to, if you're familiar with Strathmore, I think it's equivalent to like, excuse me. Sometimes the more I talk, the more that happens, but hopefully I took something to kind of help suppress it. So hopefully everything will be fine. But if you're familiar with Strathmore, I think that's about equivalent to like the 400 series papers for these cards. They're all right. I actually like to the Arteza makes a cotton one, pretty reasonably priced, and I've used those as well, and I actually really like it. They're 100% cotton. After the stream, I'll link them in the description below if you want to check those out. They come in smaller packages, but I have liked using them. All of a sudden, all right, guys, sorry, I'm gonna have to try to like hydrate some, and I had to switch to the old Powerade. Something was making all my muscles just cramp like crazy, and it was making like opposing muscles cramp at like the same time. So that's always fun. I had it happen one time. It was my hands. My hands just like cramped up, like they were like cramping like this. I was working on something, and then all of a sudden they just started cramping like really hard, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. I could not create I had to stop that day. But today, I love snowmen. I collect them. I have them like throughout my house, and actually there's some snowmen that have the honor of being out like year round. I never even put them away because they're my favorites. And Yes, yes, I'll pop that up on the screen in just a second, Rob. So I figure, I live in the North Pole, so I can get away with it, and I keep them out like year long or year round rather. Hi, George. So hi to George, hi to Rob, Tara, Joseph. Of course, Tara and Joseph are my moderators. You will see them in the chat taking care of everything. And their links are in the description below. So if you have not checked out their channels yet, I do encourage you to do so, after the stream. So I'm going to be doing cards with some snowmen. I want to do one with some gnomes because I think gnomes are adorable. So yeah, I'm probably going to try to sneak one in with a gnome. I don't know how many we'll get through, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see. This one here, I've just taped onto an old piece of chipboard that was actually, you see that? I ripped it off. It used to be the back of a pad of watercolor paper. And I usually save these. I never get rid of them. It's getting really dark outside. It's supposed to snow. So you see I'm like, it's 32, 33 degrees outside right now. So yeah, snow is possible. It is in the forecast. I tape my cards down. Now, one thing about these is, and I know it's this tape, and actually I just talked about it. I just finished this painting right here, which I'll bring this over and show you if you are a patron. This is a paint along that is coming up. That should actually be available for you guys tomorrow. That is the paint along for the month that I owe you from when I was sick. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But I just talked about the issue with this tape in that video actually. So I have like the acid free tape. I have like the black, and I use this a lot with like acrylic painting. The only thing I don't like about with when you're trying to tape down watercolors, you can't see through it. So you can't see, like, I like those crisp lines to be even all the way around because, don't want it to be uneven. That's just wrong. But it likes to come up, and this one keeps popping up. And of course the cards are folded. And one of the things I will recommend, if you tape down a card that's folded, mark which side's the fold, because you think you'll remember, but then you start going like this, and which one's the fold? And if you've creased it really well, sometimes you can't tell. So I'm just going to reinforce this because it's trying to come off. It is trying to come off. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It will be up. Like I said, I have to finish editing the video, but that should be up. My goal is tomorrow, so that you guys have that. Something extra you might like to do over the weekend. I've got second Thanksgiving this weekend with other family members here at our house. So we're doing that tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We're doing that Saturday. Okay. So yeah, you may see me reinforce the sides as I get to them. Like I have a couple, like this one, I can see it's pulling up. It's just on the ends that's doing it. So I may kind of reinforce those as we go. And yeah. I'm using the Strathmore cards, but if you don't have them, not a big deal. You could take something like, we've talked about the B watercolor paper before. This is 6 by 9 inches. It makes a perfect card if you just fold that in half, give yourself a crease. And one of the ways that I do it, and I'll show you guys because I'll be making plenty of cards here. I know I will be able to make use of one if I fold it. I didn't link the B watercolor paper. This is the 90 pound. And it's still just fine. I think the 140 might be a little bit better. Making cards, this will be a thin card, but that's okay too. So what I usually do is when I fold it, I try not to crease yet. And I'm going to flip this over so I have the back to work on. I will line it up. And then usually I will take, paintbrush or something like that. And I will get it started. And I will work that and then give it a really nice crease. There we go. And then there you go. You've got a perfect size. So you don't need to have the cards that I'm using today. You can just fold up some of your favorite watercolor paper, cut it to size, and there you go. All right, I'm gonna set that one aside. I've got a few designs here. So getting back to that comment. Yeah, that's a great idea too, Rob. Rob says, I usually write on the chipboard or backing board and only put the folds in that direction. So you could just write on that. But I use the cutting mats a lot that I get from Dollar Tree. And I'll need to link these because you can actually order these from dollartree.com. I am now an affiliate for them. Just saying, those links would be an affiliate link. But I love these little mats because they are perfect when I'm doing anything that is 6x8 or smaller, and to take my projects to, and then I can move them around, or if I want to tip it for like watercolor or something like that, I can move it. So back here, let me just yeah, tent it first, because then it keeps the skin from getting cooked too fast. So yes. See, 2 cards out of 60 that were backwards. There you go. It happens, right? That's why I always try to write fold when I'm taping it down, because I will tape a bunch up and then kind of go back and start painting. And yeah, I've forgotten. I've had to untape and check a few times. Let's see. Has J hands today. That's funny, George. There it is. So same cards you use. Excellent. And Daniel Smith sticks in the half pans. Yes, these are Daniel Smith. So this one is, that one is, that one is. I don't think that one was. I think that was actually one that I squeezed in there. But these 4, oh yeah, they're sticks. If you get the if there's a Daniel Smith color that you want and it is available in the stick, I encourage you to get the sticks, because 1, they're cheaper. 2, they're made of the same paint. Same stuff. They've said it. Same exact paint makes up their sticks, their hand poured half pans, and their tube paints. It is all exactly the same paint. So you can just take one of the sticks, slice the end off, pop it in the half pan, and don't worry about it. Get the half pan wet, or wet the bottom of that piece of the stick, stick it in there, or just the first time you use it, it'll stick. Watch this prove me wrong. We're gonna try it. What's the worst that can happen? So I had stuck that in there a while ago, and this is my phthalo green yellow. See? There we go. It just sticks. They're perfect. And it's the same paint. And doing it like that, like, you can cut the sticks longer. I wasn't sure how I was going to actually do up my Daniel Smith palette. And I'm working on a much bigger project that has to do with a lot of different colors from different companies. So I wasn't sure how I was going to be doing some of my palettes. So I just used a little piece on the end because I'm impatient. I didn't want to wait to use it. Duh. So I had to get it in here so I could start using them. So that went in there. And I don't even have them on my swatch card yet to see. But like, this one is their rich green gold. See, I got to try not to read stuff that small because that sends my eyes crazy. So their rich green gold, that's that one. It looked like a beautiful color. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe we will today. Maybe we will on some Christmas trees. Okay. So I had quite a few ideas for cards this year. And I don't pick a design and then like make a bunch. I think I just got paint on my head. Make a bunch of the same exact card. I like to mix it up and, paint a bunch of different things. So I don't know how you guys do it. Drop me a comment. Let me know. All right. All of a sudden, yep, my nose is going to drive me crazy. Let's go full screen. There we go. Oh, that's a little too tight. Let me see if I can zoom that out for you guys. I think I can. Try to, is that, won't let me move? Okay, I guess that's all it's going to do. All right, that's fine. That's fine. You can pretty much see what we're doing. Okay. So on this one, I want to do first because I really just want to do, I have to link these. I should make a list of what I have to link afterwards in the description. I'll be going back, trying to watch again, trying to figure it out. So these two Posca paint pens, which I just recently, if you saw the unboxing of the last Paletful pack that I received for November, these were in there. I love the silver and the white, and I thought, you know what, these would be a great addition when I'm making some cards to, you know, write on the cards or whatever. So I do have those handy. I think I'll be using that on at least one or two. But on this one, I just thought, you know what, I want to do a fun background. So I'm using my Mimic brushes today. They are linked below. And let's see, this is a 3/4. Yeah, okay, there you go. So Rob says they are the only Daniel Smith watercolors that you own. It is definitely worth it. It's a great value. It is. I mean, even Daniel Smith has said it's your best value if you're getting their paints or getting started with their paints. And if you cut off a piece of that stick, you can cut it longer and put it on its side, and it'll fill the pan. And you could probably fill about 4 half pans that way. Well, if you're getting 4 half pans out of your one stick of paint, you're really going to. They're less than a 15 ml tube, and you're going to get as much, if not more, paint out of it that way. And then you can also, you know, you have the piece of that stick left that you could actually just draw with them, or, you know, so many. They're a great value. Definitely recommend them. In fact, when I get new colors, I always check to see if it's a color that I don't have yet, do they have it in the stick? And then if they have it in the stick, that's the way I buy it. All right, so I'm just going to take some water and I'm going to wet this. Just the whole thing. Get it good and wet. I get some, must have had fuzz on my brush. That's not a brush hair. That's one thing about these Mimics. I have never had a problem with them shedding. Definitely recommend. Of course, you know the Silver Black Velvet is my favorite, but on the channel, I try to use other brushes that are more affordable because sometimes it helps when you're just starting, especially in watercolor. If you're just starting and you're seeing a creator do something and you're trying it and you're not getting the results that you want, don't get down on yourself. One, if you're not using the same type of paper as far as, you know, 100% cotton or something like that, and sometimes the brush can affect what you're, you know, what's happening, and certainly the paints, different paints act different ways. So if there's a way that you can do the same type of supplies as the creator that you are watching, it might just be the key that unlocks doing what you're trying to do. So I definitely recommend just wetting some stuff that was on my palette. Let me turn my palette sideways. See if you guys can't see a little. Whoa, a little better. I don't even know. This is just palette dirt. Don't know what it was. Looks like some neutral tint. I'm gonna come in with little. This is Phthalo Blue Red shade with a little more neutral tint. Really want a nice muted, there we go, blue. And I'm just going to kind of come in and drop this in, grabbing some more water, more paint. I never have enough paint. Like, I never mix enough paint. I am always like, oh no, I'm going to need more. Go figure. That was a little more blue than last time, but not a big deal. Just come in here, grab some more neutral tint. I'm actually just going to pick some of that up with my brush and just pop it right through. And this is my number 12 round that I'm using right now. So I'm going to do one of two things. Right, look at that blue. Oh, I love that blue. A little bit more of this on my brush. And this is like drying. We're coming to that time. I'm gonna have to get a humidifier. That's what I need to put on my wish list. A better humidifier for the studio, because come winter, forget it. All right, my dirty water is really dirty. When I was painting that painting earlier, I didn't change it up before the studio, but I do have 3. I usually work 3 pots of water. One is my really dirty first rinse, then I go to my next one, and then I go to my clean water. So here we go. Now I want it to kind of look like snow. Looking for what I did with it right there. I'm going to take my little Mr. bottle. This is just distilled water. And from way high above, like I'm going to come way up here and just mist. That's it. You'll see the spots already starting. And then on top of that, the Tiki Man, here he is. I'm going to get some salt. I'm just going to sprinkle salt here and there over the top. Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm going to let that set and just see what happens. We're going to come back to that. I'm going to set this one aside. I will put it behind me, and we'll come back to this one later and see what it ended up looking like. Okay, so I have an idea for that one. Next up, let's do a snowman, because who doesn't love a snowman? Boom. I sketched him out just before when we were kind of chatting earlier before the stream. I was sketching him out. I'm just taking kneaded eraser. Wasn't it, George? I loved it. I thought that was that blue was really... And that's phthalo blue red shade with a little neutral tint. I think it just makes such a beautiful blue. There we go. I just want to really get some of this so I can barely... I want it so that I can barely see it. And I kind of want to do him with like a little bit of a background that's similar to what we just did. I don't know. If I do, I'll have to do the background and then come back to him. Why not? Yeah, why not? We'll do that. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this one then, since I have my snowman, is I'm actually going to come in with clean-ish water. And I'm going to paint... Yeah, see, clean-ish water. There's still some blue on this from before, but I don't mind because that's what we're getting ready to do the background in anyways. So I'm just going to paint around him. Wet that paper. I'm going to turn this. Hope that doesn't bother you guys. So you can really see where it's wet there. Work my way up here. Yeah. It's clean-ish water. At least I have my rinse well on my desk, so sorry for the spinning. So I'm just avoiding my snowman because my colors can spread and bleed, and that's fine. And over here where there's this blue, that may be, you know, maybe I'll drop some in there, but it's not going to be a whole lot going on right there. All right, so just gonna, I don't want to really turn blue. Hard for me to see it. I'm gonna move this. I think I'm asking for trouble, but doing it anyway. All right, I'm really soaking this paper this time. Just sucks it right up. I find the cellulose ones definitely suck it up faster. Like there's not as much sizing on it or something, so it's not, you know, it's not slowing the rate that it's absorbing, if you would. Okay. So all I've done is painted around where my snowman was. And you can see my snowman. He's a bit dull sitting there, but he won't be dull for long. I'll jazz him up. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the same. Of course, I'll have to mix more up, but that's okay. Or not. I mean, maybe I just won't go as dark. Yeah, maybe I just won't go as dark. Maybe I'll just drop in a little bit of dark here and there. Now here I'm going to come right to, it's very hard to see my pencil line, so I'm trying to be really careful. Because if it's not wet, right, if that paper's dry, it should not bleed into it. Well, last year I did that snowman advent calendar. I'll have to get him out. Let him start counting down the days. If you missed that from last year, it is on the channel. I do not know what just fell over there. Something just moved in the studio. Oh. Okay. I'm kind of liking the way that this is just turning out. All right. Now, I'm going to mist it with the water. There we go. Look at that. See, it just kind of pushes it away. That just a light mist from high above. Those drops hit and they would kind of disperse. And then I'm going to get a little bit of salt. And I'm also going to do a little bit of salt. Which means we can't work on Snowman right now. We'll save him, come back to him. Oh yeah, that's going to give us some, should give us some interesting. You can really see, put some crystals over here, up here. All right, throw the rest over the shoulder, and there we go. It's for good luck. So you can really see where the salt has landed. So we're going to set that one aside. I can see it now. I'll run out of room for places to set them. Okay. And let's see, what are we going to do next? See, I told you, I don't know how many we're going to get to today, but we are going to go through some Christmas card ideas. This one was one I sketched out last year, and I never made it. And it was a snow globe. And this is like, this color is really off for some reason. That was like, these mats are teal color. And it's wanting to show up really green. I don't know why, but that's what it's doing. Hopefully once I get some color down, the camera will adjust itself. Let me see. Just double checking chat. All right. Well, that is our side view, and not the one I thought. Sorry about that. There we go. Bring it back to us. All right. Yeah, see, it's not like, I don't know why it's not adjusting, but it isn't. It's fine. Okay, so now for this one, I got a little house here. Let me bring that up. So can you see the pencil marks? There we go. Oh, there's a little house in there. I've painted this before. I really like this one. what we're going to do is we will paint our, we're going to paint our house. We're going to paint our sky. Our sky is going to be very similar color. So I can go ahead and put in some of the, just using what's left here on this palette. And I'm painting this now wet on dry. And this is going to be, it's going to be a globe. I'm going to have to turn it. I'm just, right now, I'm just trying to follow the line. Not bad for a shaky hand. Oh, that's what it was. It must have been starving racing in. It shook the floor, and I say that because my house is very easy to shake, and knocked stuff over in the studio. It happened. It felt, it came through. It came right through. Okay. All right. I need to rinse that out. Now this time my brush is going to be just clean water. Just clean water. See that and that is got a little bit where I didn't want it. I'll grab a piece of tissue. I went outside the lines. I need a really clean brush for this. I'm gonna go over my rinse well here. Get just clean water. And now I have to be careful because outside of this will be wet, which means it could bleed to that area. Here we go. And it's lifted off. All right. I'm actually going to lift a little bit of this out because I don't want this to be as dark right here. And there we go. So I've got this is kind of where my snow is on the ground. All right. Tap where my trees will be. I'm not liking the hard lines I'm getting. Just trying to smooth some of this out. I don't mind that it takes that, round shape. That's better. I didn't like the hard lines. And this here needs to lift a little bit too. Okay. You'll understand as it becomes its wonderful globy self. All right. That was an impressive dive, yes. I'm just softening this part up as well. And I may just go ahead and leave that as is and keep painting. Okay. It looks like slightly resembles glass, slightly. For the bottom, I'm thinking silver. So I'm going to start with some very watered down neutral tint, which probably still has blue in it. Yeah, it did. I don't like this palette. This is the Meaden palette that I ordered. I had ordered this off Amazon a long time ago, just the empty palette, to be able to put my Daniel Smith colors in. And I have taken a magic eraser to this. I have used the heck out of this palette. It has never stopped beating. I don't like it. It's going to end up not being used. I'll end up putting something else in here. Okay, so at the bottom, I'm thinking I just want this to look like it is silver. So starting wet on dry paper. Put that wash in. My line got a little, there it goes. There we go. And drop a little bit of darker in out here. I'm actually going to get right into the neutral tint and just use that right out here on the edge to get some stronger color. To kind of help bring its form, right? This is round. And we'll see what that starts to do. So I'm just coming back in just with a wet brush. Because I knew it was much wetter out here than it was in here. It was going to cause some blooms. And I'm just going to pull some of this excess up. You just let that kind of go down. There we go. And now I'm just going to catch some of the extra water, absorb some off the paper with my brush. All I'm doing is grabbing it with my brush and wiping it on a piece of tissue. And then I can just tip it again. There we go. We'll just see what it does. I don't want to fuss with it too much. It's starting to dry. I need to leave it alone, which is where I usually don't learn my lesson, and I keep messing. Okay, it was a little too much water in that, but that's okay. And so I think what I might do is at the end, I might put some silver highlights into the bottom. So, oh, thank you. Thanks, Rob. And yeah, it also helps YouTube say, hey, maybe I will share this with a few more people. all of a sudden, like, chat jumped like crazy. So yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up if you're having fun today. I know I'm glad to be back. See, again, messing with it. I should not be messing with this, but I'm seeing this line, which I don't mind if I have a line that's darker right here. I just don't want it to be, I need to put a little bit more of this dark back in here. I just didn't want it to be all uneven. Okay, again, leaving it alone. Keeps touching it. All right. And I know, I'm like, wait, it's not. It's more on this side than it is on that side. What are you going to do? I just rinsed out in my clean water. One thing you can do is you can say, well, I'll just push that back a little bit. All right, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Stop it. Promise this time. I do it all the time. I never leave it alone. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. So now I think inside the globe is dry enough that I can actually, I'm going to switch up here if I can get my paint. I'm using my paint well that holds my brushes. And right now I am grabbing this is actually a number 6 round. And I love this brush. This brush, I don't know if you guys can see it. It has such a point on this brush. Like, I can do a lot with this brush. Well, let's check out, I got some other dirt on the palette here. This looks green, so, I'm just going to use it. It's probably a mixture of, by the looks, yeah, it looks like maybe some sap green and some neutral tint. I was using some of that earlier. But I'm going to just grab that and go for it on my little trees here. It's actually not quite as dark as I want, but it is good enough for these ones here back here in the background. Paint those in on that little hill. And I am touching, I put a bridge on my Christmas wish list. So I just touched right there. And I want one of those acrylic bridges so you can see through it and want to see what I'm doing. Yep. Maybe then I can keep my hands off my artwork. Maybe not. But here's to hoping. And I got a little too much water in that, so I'm just going to suck up a little bit of that again. Oh, an empty coffee cup is never a good thing. And I'm going to have some trees over here. And I want these trees to be darker for sure. So I'm going to grab some sap green. A little bit of neutral tint. A little bit more. There we go. Mutes that right down to a nice evergreen. And I'll show you. Oh, and this guy, it was still a little too wet. That's all right. We're just going to drop some in there. Throw a couple trees over here. Paying attention to leave white spaces. Sorry, guys. I know I just got like real quiet, right? That doesn't usually happen. I want to pay attention to leave some of that white space. This is the little bit darker, the neutral tint that it was on my palette. Just dropping in some darker near the bottoms. All right. And I'm going to grab a little bit of neutral tint on my brush and mix this in because I want to make this even darker green. Very dark green. Too much water on my brush. A little bit more sap green. Not quite that dark. There we go. I think I went a little too far back the other direction, but there, better. Neutral tint. No. Great question, Rob. Thank you. Daniel Smith has a color. It is actually called neutral tint. It is not Payne's gray. It's not more blue than, it's just neutral. So Payne's gray is a little more blue than gray, or it's a gray that leans blue, if that makes more sense. And neutral tint is just kind of a nice neutral gray that's not more leaning blue, or it's not leaning more warm. It's kind of right there in the middle. And it's actually called neutral tint. So now I'm just coming back with some of the darker color I mixed and just kind of dabbing a few spaces in here so that tree will have more values to it. These guys are really light back there. I was thinking about darkening them up, but you know what? It's going to be snowing in this snow globe, so I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to leave them just the way they are. But I am going to drop a little bit more dark in these ones. Down here especially. But I'm still paying attention to leave myself, to not go over all the greens I've done, and to can still leave some white space in there. Okay. There we go. Now for our house. Let's see. I'm thinking, what does this one look like? Let's make that a little bit more red. I don't know what color was on here, but I can tell you that I'm going to grab some carmine. And it almost looked like a quin magenta. That might have been what that was. I'm grabbing some carmine. I'm actually going to grab neutral tint is just enough to darken it up. Get it a little deeper. There we go. Let's see how that does. And I want to paint my house red. I don't know why. I wouldn't paint my own house red. Nothing wrong with a red house. I'm not sure what color the door is. It looks like when I drew this, I drew trees on the side of the house. Don't know what I was thinking. Just thinking maybe I do a little negative painting, and maybe I do have a tree up here. A couple shrubs on the back side. Why not? There we go. I'll make them green after. Okay. Now I'm just going to come in here with some more of that neutral tint. Now I'm thinning that down. I want it to be a lighter version. And I'm just going to drop a shadow. Well, that's a lot on my brush. My point was not very well set. A little shadow under there. Throw a little shadow in under here. And if that bleeds down, that's fine. Okay, need to put a chimney in. Guess what I'm going to do for a chimney? Grab a little bit of this red, a little bit of neutral tint, darken it right up. It almost makes like a purple, but that's okay. I'm going with it. And I can't really see where. Pretty sure I had a chimney drawn on there. I think I had a tree back behind the house too, which is fine. I'll put one in. Probably a very big chimney for that little house, but hey, they're being safe. It's well above the roof line. Okay, how about we use that same color? And I just rinsed it all out of my brush. Same color for the door. Just darken it right up. There we go. I'm going to let that dry so that I can do the windows. I'm going to put in yellow so that, you know, the lights are on. The lights are on. They're home. They're celebrating the holidays. And I said some more trees. Very dark. Just lifting some of it out. They're really dark. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water, lighten that up a little bit. Pull any extra water out of the belly of my brush. You just touch it with a tissue at the base where the bristles meet the ferrule, and that'll pull any extra water out. You see I have a little bit of green color there. And then now I'm not going to end up with too much. And when I come back and grab, I'm just grabbing that paint color that I made. And it's not all full of water. I'm going to put too much water on my painting and cause blooms or back runs or... All right, there's our little shrubbery there. And I did say that perhaps there was a big tall pine that sits back here behind the house. Back there. Sure, why not? Okay. So now, again, I'm going to thin down this neutral tint. I want it to be much lighter. Cat's Art Picks, hello. It's good to see you. Glad you could join us. And here, I'm just going to do little... I'm just touching and dragging. I'm letting them get smaller as I go. Footprints, somebody walking up to the door. It's a long walk. Somebody could have plowed that for you. You know what I'm saying? Snow loaded it, shoveled it, something. Cleared the way. All right. It's kind of dry. It's kind of dry. We got some yellow over here left over from, again, I don't even know what I was painting. I don't know what I was painting last. But there's a little bit of yellow there. So we're just going to drop some yellow in these windows. And of course that means we're also going to put just a smear. Press and oh, I just lifted it. Oh, and I touched the window, so it lifted it right out of there too. Touch it with my finger. Well, it's just taking it all right up. I just wanted a little bit of glow on the snow. I know it's yellow, but it's not that kind of yellow snow, guys. It's just the lights. It's just the lights, I swear. There we go. A little bit on there. All right. So there's inside our snow globe. There we go. So to finish this off, what I need to do is I need to put some highlights on it. And I need to put some snow. It needs to be snowing. It's a snow globe. We got to shake it up and make some snow happen. And this is where I make a big old mess. All right, let's see. Just rinsing, changing for some clean water. There we go. I have got some Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white right here. That's what I'm dipping into. And I'm going to take and give a highlight on the glass. We'll see how well this is coming through. It might be mixed down a little bit too much, which is fine, but that'll let me know. Did you say frigid? What's frigid, Joseph? You said it's very frigid there today. What's frigid? Can we define that, please? We might define that differently. It hasn't really gotten frigid yet here today, this year. I mean, it's gotten cold. All right, and I'm going to put some highlight over here. I don't know what keeps banging on my chair. Uh, 25 tonight. I don't know what our low is supposed to be. I'm not sure. It's going to be chilly though. See, I said chilly. We haven't gotten to negative digits yet. We haven't gotten to 0, so we're doing good there. Putting some white. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. I touched my chimney, which was not dry, with a very wet brush. That's okay. We're just gonna absorb that up there. Rinse this out very well. Yeah, sorry. There you go. You said frigid. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you said frigid. 40 degrees. It's 34 right now. It's warmed up and I think the snowflakes are flying out there. It's just spitting snow. It's like nothing really like crazy. I liked it, George. Yeah, it's snowing right now. Yep, it is. It's actually snowing right now. Nothing. We have a little bit on the ground, and a little bit on the ground. Nothing that I would be like, oh, I need to take pictures. It's not impressive yet. It's not impressive. I'll talk to you guys when we have 3 more feet on top of it. Then it's impressive. I just opened that and it's like cracked in the lid. Okay, this is also some Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white, and there we go. I just need to put my roof, get that really white. It's drying in this container. I need to put some more distilled water in here. I'm putting the snow on the edge. See, I don't want it to be nice and even. Deckle it over there a little bit. There we go. I don't know that these are all. They might be. They might be. Flock the Christmas trees. course, it's very faint back there. I'm just kind of dabbling it in here and there. I have a row of these trees that we actually planted along one side of our property, and I love when they get covered with snow. All snow covered, and their branches are weighed down. They just look so pretty. I was just kind of dry brush dragging that. And now what I need to do is get it to the consistency where I have enough that I can flick snow. We're going to try that. I love snow globes. Love them. All right, I'm going to try keyword there. Let me grab a paper towel. And I'm going to try to protect the bottom. This is where I end up wearing it. I don't want it on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold them up. Because I certainly want to protect the silver part that's, the part that's not inside the snow globe. I'm getting it. It's like splattering all out there. It's like you hit it one way and it flings it back the other. Earlier I had it on my monitor, and it's the monitor I can actually like draw on for digital art. Like, oh, oops. And I want more snow towards the bottom because, once you shake them up, it kind of settles down. I hate like dotting to do snow because your brain just wants to make patterns. Okay, good enough. 77 inches is a bit too much. I was like, oh, could we get a storm like that just once? Like, just once. Lou's like, are you going out there? I was like, oh, come on. It'd be fun. He's like, I'd be plowing every so many inches of accumulation. He was like, no way I'd wait till the end to clean out of something like that. So we saw some people, like the pictures coming out of New York and stuff. And it was like, they didn't clean anything up till it was over. I'm like, no, you can't do that in a storm like that. You've got to be on it. That's the one that you stay up through and you're constantly out there cleaning the snow. Trust me. We've gotten snow measured in feet before, just not that many feet. And it's like, you got to be every 3 to 4 inches, get out there and clean it all up. And then it, comes down. You can keep working at it. Okay, so what's inside the snow globe? Water? Snow? What did I paint inside my snow globe? Here we go. So there's a little snow globe. And I'm going to take my Posca. There we go. Just going to add a little bit of silver, just a few lines for a little bit of sparkle. Maybe a few that come up from the bottom. So that one's done. Now on that, I can like cross top, happy holidays, whatever. You can write whatever you want on them. So that one I think is done. Now I've done them before where I've gone over this darker with like a really thin, like an ultramarine or phthalo blue, like the red shade that I was using, and done a really thin smear. I think I gave those away. I don't have one to show you, but I actually did that here on the channel, I think a long time ago. And I think the way that it came out, it really looked like glass. It looked really nice. I liked it that way. But that's our snow globe for today. Just going to set that aside to dry. And it has got like lots of snow. See the texture? It's like bubbled up on there. Look at that. That also makes it look three-dimensional. All right. Let's come back to our snowman. Oh, wait till you see the snowman. It's pretty much dry. Oh, look at that salt. Look at what we got. I love it. I'm just going to brush the salt off into the trash. See that? And you have to wait. You have to you can't do it when it's super wet or you'll get really big mounds. But if you let it dry a little bit, you get what looks like little snowflakes. So brushing all that salt off. Okay, let's paint our snowman. And I'm seeing some brown dirt here on the palette. I'm going to wet that and see what it looks like. We'll paint his hat. Sure, why not? Why not? I mean, his hat could be black. Let's grab some of this neutral tint, bring it over here. Darken it right up. Of course, I'll be like, that's not enough to paint his hat, and then I'll need to mix more color. I won't know what it was because we just used dirt. So I'm going to grab some sepia. And there we go. Some more neutral tint. Darken it right up. So it's not quite black. It's a very, very dark brown. All right. So just going to paint his hat in. I'm going to turn this. Remember, I pulled all my lines out, so they were very light. It's hard for me to see it. On this card, I think I would definitely write, "Let it snow." I don't know. There's just something about this guy that says that's what's on his mind. Turn that back. That is excellent. All 60 are going to be the same image this year, Rob? But normally you do over 60 and they're all different. But this year, all 60 are going to be the same. You must have had like an image that you really liked this year. It's just my thought on that. I don't know how I would feel doing 60 of the same card. Each one being hand painted. Now, I might paint a card and print it 60 times. But I don't know if I'd want to paint the same card 60 times. Actually not. It has some Cat's Art picks. I actually took something to make it, force it into submission for before the stream, because the more I talk, the more it will make me cough, because the harder it gets to breathe. And so it's the breathing, or the inability. It triggers the bronchial spasms. There's his little hat. While I'm at it, just using this same, I'm going to tip this so I can see if I can still see remnants of it. I'm going to start with this one. I'm not worried if they're perfectly round or not. Whatever it is, whether it's coal or button or whatever is making up his smile, press that into snow and it's not going to stay looking like a perfect little circle. It will be circle adjacent, kind of circle like. Yeah. Yeah, the meds definitely have been helping. However, the steroids, 3 rounds of steroids just wreaked havoc on me. It was not fun. And like, it helped me be able to breathe, but which is the important part. But now it's causing, the fibro flares up when you come off of them, and it's not been fun. Okay, I'm gonna go straight into neutral tint for his eyes, which I could do. I have lunar black here. Maybe I'll do lunar black. Why not? Let's just go right after that. So lunar black is one of the colors I got in the stick. Lunar black, which is PBK 11, very granulating, beautiful color, gorgeous color. See, when I go to do fine details, that's when my eyes start to mess with me. For sure. Can't really see where I drew the other one on here. Just gonna wing it. Yeah, I just, the side effects of the steroids are just not, they're not pleasant. All right, and I have some orange light color right here, and we're just going to use that palette dirt. And I believe this was Pyro Scarlet and New Gamboge is what I had on here that I was working with. And we're just going to use those to do our carrot nose. And again, this part's all being painted wet on dry. And I had a feeling I was going too quick. So some of his eye wanted to bleed onto the carrot there. That's all right. Grab a little bit of this red, which would be just the pyrrole scarlet. Darken that up. And I'm just going to drop a little in along the bottom side and just let it move on its own for the shadow. There. His eye may bleed a little bit in there. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to come in with some of this I'm going to go very watered down neutral tint. Very watered down. So very light gray. And I'm just going to put in a little bit. He doesn't have a trying to clean up that edge a little bit right there. He doesn't have a scarf. I didn't put a scarf on him. So you see, I'm just kind of coming around the edge, and now I'm just going to come in with some clean water, cleanish water. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to work my way. So again, cleanish water, starting in the center, and I'm just going to work my way out to this side. And let that work its way all the way up to right underneath with the shadow from his head. He also has no arms. He has no arms. Taking the same brush, I'm just going to put a little bit, because now his face is so bright white. You see it's kind of going to start to bleed up a little bit, and that's fine. Just taking away some of the stark white. I'm being careful not to touch the orange or that nose because we don't want that there. I touched his eye a little bit. So the other place that I might want a little bit of that darker gray, I'm going to turn this sideways. Right here under where his hat is. Right from the brim of his hat, sure. No, George, if you actually cook it till it says about 160, you know, that like what Rob was just saying, and you take it out and you let it set, while it sets on the counter, it rests, it's going to make it much juicier in the end, and it'll keep coming up to temperature and you will be fine. We usually take ours out about between 162 and 165. Let it rest for about 20 minutes before we carve into it. Cooking and water coloring. Yep, that's what we're doing today. Okay, I'm not liking the dark line I got around here, but I'm not going to worry about that because I can touch that up with like the Dr. P.H. Martin's, because I think it needs to snow on top of him as well. Yeah, it does. It continues to cook while it's resting. For sure. All right, what do you guys think of him? I think he's kind of cute. He doesn't have arms. He doesn't have an arm. I mean, I could paint him a little stick arms there, but I don't know. He just is what he is. Oh, but he could do a button, at least a button, at least. But this is still very wet, so I need to let that dry again. I'll paint the button, spatter some snow on top, and let it snow. I think I'm going to do it, let it snow with maybe the white and the silver. And there we go. So we'll set that one aside. See, he does need arms, right? Oh, he doesn't need arms? No, he doesn't need arms. All right, no arms. He's the no arm. He's the armless snowman. Hey, maybe he has arms. Maybe his arms are just down by his side. We don't know. All right, look at this one. Ready for this one, guys? What time we got? Okay, we still have plenty of time. Ooh, look at that. It's almost got like a galaxy thing going on for it there. I almost don't want to spatter any white on top. That looks pretty cool. So this one here, I think, why not? Let's just get a little. I said a little, and then that was a big old blob drop down there. Which I am going to lift out because that's a touch much. More than I wanted. His arms were cold, so he tucked him in his shirt. All I get. There we go. Some of those little bit bigger ones. That's better. I think. That's better. And this one, it's just snowing. Hey! Hi, Shanna. Caution Artist at Play. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. All right. And that one's just very simple. I mean, we can... Maybe I'll draw like a snowflake shape over here. So that might be something I would do, draw like a snowflake shape. And then, you can either write like, let it snow, happy holidays, whatever. Maybe it's Happy New Year. I don't know. I don't know what the card's for yet, but I do like that. And it's very simple. Very simple. I can finish that off later, but let's do that like satisfactory peeling of the tape, because is there any more fun than peeling away that nice crisp clean edge? I don't know. I think it's fun. I love it when it's got that nice, I say crisp border, but you see that? That, my friends, is why I would say, if this was like really important to me, I would use the Holbein soft tape. Any project that is super important to me, that I want to make sure it doesn't bleed under, I use Holbein soft tape. Hands down. It's the only thing I choose. Right? See? That's what I say. Very satisfying. It's one of the most satisfying parts. And of course we had fold written on the one where our fold was, so that we couldn't paint it backwards. Like you could paint this card backwards. I don't think you could have, but look at that. Super simple. And you can even put like an embellishment on top of this. Anything you want. The sky's the limit. Whatever you can imagine. So there's one. There's one of our cards that we could do today. Our snow globe, which is probably plenty dry. I certainly can. It's still drying, but I can peel the tape on that one. All right, so there's that one. And again, this one, it could just be happy holidays, or whatever sentiment that you like. It could say Merry Christmas. It could say nothing. It could just be the snow globe, and then open it up, and you could have your sentiment could be inside. One thing I like to do with my cards is, if I've hand painted the card, I will, on the back side, right here in the bottom center, it's not a Hallmark card, it's a me card, so that's where I sign my cards. I will sign it and date it there. And I've had a few people that have actually framed cards that I've given them, and they still have, the signature is on the back versus the front. I don't sign the front of my cards most, like 99% of the time. I don't. I sign right here. I love peeling the tape. It's just so satisfactory. Another one that I wanted to do. I'm just looking at what kind of time. I think we have plenty of time. It's only 4:30. And the last one, the only one we don't have really finished is the snowman we were just working on. So as soon as he is dry enough. Oh, I've got to paint the band on his hat. I can do that. Let me paint the band on his hat. I'm thinking red. It'll stand out. We'll go with this red because it's here. I'm going to throw a little bit more carmine in the mix. There we go. For you by me, that's cute. And of course, if you wanted to, you could give him arms. You could give him a scarf. Right? You could give him a broom. I've seen the snowmen with the brooms. This has a lot of liquid. I'm afraid it's going to push a bloom towards my dark colors. I'm actually going to pull some of that off because it's really still wet. I'd rather paint another layer than leave all that water on there. We'll go with some like straight from the pan. That's that carmine. Carmine's a beautiful red. There we go. Oh, that was nice. That would be nice to use on the back of your cards. Yep. I haven't done that yet. I haven't made a. Who did you have make yours for your logo, Shanna? Can you guys hear Tuka? We must have come in the house or back upstairs because I can hear him down there squawking. Okay, Zazzle. Yeah, I've thought about having one made. Well, I can't say it. I'll share it. I will share it once I can. But I just, yeah, I don't, because I have no idea. He could be watching now. And if Lou is out there watching, kind of lurking in the background, I don't want to say. So I did, it's something that's for him. All right. So, what else was I going to do with our snowman? He's going to get more white. He's going to get, I don't want to sprinkle this because that'll turn pink if anything gets on him. So I'm going to put him aside again, but maybe I'll give him just a little bit of the, I want to fix those edges. I don't like that dark edge. I'd rather it be brighter and lighter than for it to be dark like that. Can you guys hear him? Oh yeah, buttons. Thank you. Buttons. That's what he's missing. I can do his buttons. I can do that. There we go. It's still there's. It's not. That Dr. Page Martin's was a little thin. Little thin. Ooh. So you did too, George. You got yours from. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. All right, I need some. It's too much. The paint to water ratio there was too much, and I probably sent it in the opposite direction, but it's fine. Just gonna give him a little, we'll brighten his bottom half up a bit. And of course, I just said I was gonna put buttons on here, and it was dry, and then I just went and painted over it. What are you gonna do? Brain says, sorry, didn't remember. I knew you said something. I wasn't listening. There we go. Good enough. Good enough. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry again. I think I want his hat darker. I think I want this darker up here. What do you guys think? I think it needs to be darker. I think I'm gonna go in with the lunar black, and I'm just gonna darken it right up because that's what I want. I like it darker. Turn this. If you're one that it drives you crazy when they spin the artwork, I'm sorry. So for those of you that paint stuff for around the holidays, what kind of things do you paint? I always do ornaments. Of course, my cards. Might be able to get a button. Let's see if we can get a circle without it bleeding. As soon as that line had a white spot and looked like two lines close together, that's when my eyes said nope. There we go. Let's do one more. The wind is howling out there today. The wind whipped through so hard last night, it hit the house. It hit like right on at the corner of the house. So it was like a northeast wind, and it hit so hard, like it shook. It literally shook the house. I was sitting downstairs. Normally when I'm up in my studio, I can feel it if the wind shakes the house. But oh, last night, I mean, I could feel it downstairs. There's his buttons. There we go. I like doing ornaments. I do ornaments, Christmas cards, and yeah. And I also have another gift, which next Thursday, there's some gifts that I want to do, and I think I'm going to paint them live. So that might be interesting to see. I had to go get brand new paint for it. I still have to spatter the snow, so I'm not going to peel him yet, but I am going to let that dry because I need that completely dry before I spatter our snow on top. But he is going to say, let it snow. And what I'll probably do too is maybe with silver, let it snow. We'll see how the paint pen stands out. Yes, we have to make a list. We have priorities, Rob. Let me just checking in with the chat. Nice. Let me check that out. Sazzle. I need to remember that. Exactly. Exactly. And now it's on the screen. So now when I watch the replay, I'll remember. For those of you who are here on the replay, there you go. Yeah, I have merchandise with my logo. That is got my logo on it, which, you know, of course, is my art signature, and it says Clark Fine Art. And there's a few of those out there. There's a few of those out there floating around. Thank you to those who have them and have supported the channel that way. This, let's see. I'm thinking, what time do we have? I don't think I have time for this one. I'm going to paint it. Was going to be 5 gnomes. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we have time. Let's see. Let's just see. Because how hard is it going to be? We're going to start with hats. So let's do, I want carmine again. Thinking a red hat. Nice, yes. Oh. Thank you. Yes, everybody, like, share, subscribe. All right, let me see. Let's start with that. And I got to flip this upside down. I love gnomes. I just think they're so much fun. And I'm just gonna let the brush do what it does, and that's gonna be the shape of his hat. And that little gnome is gonna be something like that, or similar. Oh, that's cool. I should get Lou a sweatshirt. He'd wear a sweatshirt. He'd wear a t-shirt too. I need to get one for myself. My niece has one. She, like, soon as I made them, she got one right away. My brush is there's not enough water in that. So I'm thinking once this is dry, this little gnome's hat will have like a snowflake on it. And I'll probably do that with the Posca pen. And maybe give him a pom-pom. All right. Next hat, next hat. Maybe green. Let's go with some sap green. Right from the pan. Why not? We'll start red and green. Yeah, that was my niece. As soon as I put them out there, and she got like she went and got a hoodie or t-shirt. She might have both. I'm trying to remember. I don't even know. But there's some different things like my sea turtle that I use on a lot of things that's in like my banner and stuff like that. That is available in some merch. It's all linked in the description below. Anybody who's interested. All right, so we're gonna have to have a pom-pom on that one, but maybe that pom-pom, maybe his pom-pom is red. And I know I'm risking these colors bleeding together, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's all right. There's his little wonky pom-pom. Kind of leaning to one side. All right, what color is the next one going to be? I don't know. Perhaps I'll do one that's striped. So I'm going to paint it red, but then I'm going to make it striped with the Posca pen. I'll stripe white on top of it. All right. I'm going out for dinner. I'm not having dinner at home. Once we're done, I'm headed out. That'll be fun. See, I said I'm going to make it striped, and I put it all to the side just to give myself a good challenge. Kind of like a Santa hat. And it's wintertime. I think maybe they should all have some pom-poms. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe like a little tassel. Maybe this one will have little tassels. Hopefully you guys can't really hear the neighbor's dog out there howling because he wants to be let in. And nobody's paying attention to the poor thing. I'm spoiled. You said it's nice. Cat's Art Pick said it's nice not to cook. I'm spoiled because Lou does a lot of the cooking. And he does it very well. Right, this one's just going to have like little tassels. There we go. Just like that. And we're going to give him white stripes. Next one, I think I'm going to go green again. But I'm going to go with the this one. I said I hadn't tried it yet. We're going to try it. And this was the Rich Green Gold by Daniel Smith. And of course, this is one of the watercolor sticks. Definitely recommend, if you're going to try Daniel Smith colors, grab some watercolor sticks. Yes, see? Oh my gosh, yes, yes. Absolutely. I'm like, nope, I brag about his cooking all the time. Oh, I don't think I like the green, but I don't know that I like. I don't know. I think it needs some other green. want to grab some of this. We're just going to drop it in here. Just kind of let them blend. We're going to kind of let them blend and do their thing. Maybe his is a little knit hat. And I knit it for him, so the rows aren't very straight. A few stitches were dropped, picked up elsewhere. It's wonky. That's what I'm telling you. You don't want me knitting you a hat. I'll crochet. I can crochet all day long. Yeah, we'll just go with that. That's fine. I think that looks good. All right. I'm just feeling like I have to go red with the last one and put something. So we're going to have a snowflake, stripes. I don't know what the last one will be. But of course, you know, the OCD, this one went out that way, so this one had to go out this way, and that'll finish it off. I decided I'm going to spend a day this year making candy. I have not made candy in forever. So that'll be one day coming up. But next week, yeah, stay tuned. I got all new paints for this project specifically. And I'm going to be making some of my Christmas gifts live, hanging out with you guys, because I have a feeling I'm not going to have time to do it. And if I do it, and oh, I went outside the line. It's okay. But I have a feeling that if I make myself do it, like, time is going to get away from me. But if I do it during a live stream, then it can't. Because I will be hanging out with you guys. So I'll probably paint one ahead of time and then be able to show you. Oh, that sounds, yeah, that would be, I should do that. I have some black paper. That sounds like they'd be great. And gouache, maybe. The new Daniel Smith gouache is on my list. I want it so bad. It is on the studio wish list. Big time. Definitely. I want it. I'm going to make this one like a little tassel too. I'm going to get some of that green gold. Grab some of it. Blend that through. All right. So I guess these guys are going to have some pom-poms. Now, how are we going to make the pom-pom? Well, we're just going to take a little bit of some gray. Let that dry. Tap that off. Maybe I tapped too much. There we go. And same over here. That picked up a little bit of the red, but that's all right. You got like a big wonky pom-pom there. It's all good. They're not fans. Oh. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my kneaded eraser, because I just had marked like where I wanted their little noses to be, but I definitely need to lift off some of that color. And I'll pop their noses in next. Like trying to be really careful not to touch where their hats are. There we go. All right. Which the hats probably are not dry enough to do their noses yet. I'm going to make a crazy mess if I do that. I'll do their beards. So to do their beards, I'm just taking some of this neutral tint that was left. And I'm just going to pull out what would be like the shape of their beards. That had a lot of purpley color in it, and I can lift that off and lighten it up. There we go. And I think perhaps gnome number 2 here. There, his beard kind of hooks around. I didn't even paint the background. There's no background. Might paint around them. I don't know. All right. You said the sun is setting. It's dark here. It is dark. Dark, dark. Like I can't even see the street now anymore out the studio windows. Very dark. I don't know how long it's been dark, but it's probably been for a little while. It's probably been a while. This one's got a really long, long beard. And if you get too much, just don't worry about it. Dab it off. Dab it up. Watercolor dries lighter, so remember, it's just a piece of paper. Just have at it, have fun. I think this guy, his beard's going to be hogging up the space. He just looks like he's got a big old full beard. Maybe you can really see that mustache defined there. Just proud he worked hard on that. You guys, it's hard for you guys to see. And I could even do these like some line and wash maybe. Have a great rest of your evening, Cats Art Picks. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Well, a little bit of the red came down. That's okay. Lift out what we can and deal with what we can't. How if I pick up just a little bit more? Yeah, he was. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm agreeing. I've seen the previews. There we go. Lift it out just a little bit more. There's their little gnome beards. Now you can see them. All right. So I need to let this one dry. for a little bit and come back. Let's finish up our snowman, and then we'll come back and finish our gnome, and we will be done. So just a few more minutes, and we will wrap her up. All right. Just getting a little bit more, because I know that was pretty watered down. And it's gonna, I need more. I need more paint, more water, more everything. I have very clean water up there that I dip in so that I don't contaminate my container of white. And that is Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I could have gone with a gouache. You don't have to have that. You can use gouache, absolutely. I could have used the Posca paint pen. And so again, on this one, I'm sure I'm going to write Let It Snow on this one, because that's just what he looks like he needs to have on him. And maybe he has a little snow building up right here on his little carrot nose, which would also help me fix where his eye got wonky. And maybe he has a little bit sitting up here atop his hat. And a little on the brim as well. There we go. All right. So that takes care of him. Easy. See how easy that was? And so I will just end up writing Let It Snow. And I'm going to, again, clean this. We have got to peel the tape. Thank you. Handsome. I love snowmen. Absolutely my favorite. All right, that tape goes on. I forgot that I taped like extra on the sides because it was peeling in the beginning. So here we go. Look at that. Nice clean edge. Love it. That one wanted to, and that's exactly why I peel away. That one wanted to peel a tiny bit of the paper on the corner. There we go. Look at him. It's just too stinking cute. So there's that one. Setting him aside. Moving this out of the way. Definitely getting this immediately off my desk because the struggle. Ooh, I'm like shaking the camera. I don't see how I'm shaking the camera other than I'm shaking the entire room because I just like scrubbed that really hard. Makes me crazy though, like, and it sticks. I have got white on my black sweater. I had white speckles in my hair earlier. Oh, thanks, Dara. Really? Oh my gosh. We haven't been yet. We go to the same tree farm every year. And we have not been yet. So I don't know what they're charging this year, but yeah. I put up mini trees. So I was talking about this in the chat, on Joseph, and I'm going to use some of this palette mud over here because we know that this is like a palette mud, palette dirt, whatever's left on the palette. But that looks like it might actually, if I water that down, make a really nice color for their noses. We're going to try it and find out what's the worst that can happen. We lift it off and go again. Actually, I think I'm going to mix just a little bit of the buff titanium in with that. And that's what we're going to use. But I put up many trees each year. So we were talking about that in, that's really dark, in Joseph's stream in the chat on Monday. And I end up with like, my family members poke fun at me. As I have like a tree in there almost in most rooms. I've had 8 up last year. 8. Now they're not all full size trees. You know, some are small. Some are small. Some are like, okay, there's too much water. Way too much water in my brush. So some are like, you know, maybe a foot tall. I have some, they range from a foot tall to 8 feet tall. Or 7.5 feet tall. No, it's 8 feet. My ceilings in my living room are higher than 8 feet. So the one that goes in there is 8 feet. And we have those are like artificial ones, but we always usually do one real tree. Last year it was my little tree was the real tree. And I told you guys I like snowmen. I have one tree that's all snowmen. Like all the ornaments on it are various snowmen. They're not all the same. They're all different. Oh, I got a little red from this one's got a red nose. It's just the way it is, buddy. He's cold. Maybe he's sneezy. I don't know. But I touched that red and that was just definitely wasn't done, but that's okay. I'm like, my bonus room gets a tree, my living room gets a tree, the dining room has a tree, the kitchen has a tree, the bathroom has a tree, the guest room has a tree. The one in the guest room's not real big, but you know, it's nice. I would like it if I came and stayed, had a little Christmas tree in my room. Actually, I'm going to leave it. It seems to be, looks like it's going to dry just fine. Okay, look at their little gnome noses. There we go. It could be like gnome for the holidays. Because, you know, nothing's punnier than that. Oh. Yeah, I had an artificial tree when we were military and moving around, and we were down in Georgia's neck of the woods. I wasn't paying for a real tree. I mean, real trees here, we go and we cut them down ourselves, and we go to the tree farm, and it supports, you know, local family business, and that's fine. This still is not going to be dry enough, I don't think, to do the Posca. We'll see. Try it on the first one. I said a little snowflake. Yeah, see, it's wanting to turn pink. That's all right, though. We're easy, but I don't think I can do his stripes yet. So I'll have to finish that one and post it and post a picture. Actually, let me just see if I'm going to mute you guys for just a second, and I'm actually going to use my heat tool. I was trying to read a little bit as I was doing that, and see that tape always wants to pop when you heat it up. That's the only thing I don't like about that tape on these boards is it will pop off very easily. And it's funny that you say that, Rob. So what I do is because we have trees in different parts of the house, and then we have different parts of our family, and so when I wrap everything ahead of time, like I'll put presents that are going to one part of our family under one tree and presents from another part, and then mine and Lou's would be under like the main tree for Christmas morning and stuff like that. But oh yeah, yeah, there's presents under all the trees. Well, most of the trees, not the bathroom tree. There is a tree. There is a small tree that goes in the bathroom. All right, I don't know what to put on this guy's hat. Let me just give that a pump and try to clean off some of the pink isn't showing. There we go. Yeah, he's got his striped hat. Oh my gosh. Okay, that um just makes me think of Disney, Chippendale, Pluto, Mickey, the Christmas they get the tree and Chippendale are in the tree. Now I can really touch this one up. There's a snowflake. Pom-poms on the last red hat. Like little pom-poms, boom, boom, like here, there, and everywhere, like little like polka dots. How's that? There we go. Oh, I've watched it too. I'm like not gonna lie. I already watched it this year. Oh, love Disney. Yeah, I'm just getting carried away. I'm gonna overdo it, but I'm like, oh wait, and he needs one here, and you get a pom pom, you get a pom pom. All right, it makes me think of the Sorcerer's Apprentice, like the little stars. Speaking of Disney, which is like still my all-time favorite Mickey, his little Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey carrying those big old buckets of water. Am I showing my age, guys? I was gonna do something with green and I don't recall. But there we go. I still think because their beards is like so light, I think they should have a background, something. I don't know. He's not quite complete yet. Or I could just take a fine liner and line around their beards. Paint shoes on the bottom, like rounded shoes for each of them that kind of match their hats. I could do that. And they would just have their red, their shoes, and that would kind of anchor them. You would see the beards up close, and then maybe do some line work, like line work under those and line work the beards. Maybe that. What do you think? Shoes and line work. I think that's what they need. Shoes and line work. All right, we're gonna shoes. We're gonna shoe them. because those shoes are really fast. They don't take but a minute. I was gonna say this one doesn't have some very big feet, but apparently he's got 2 different size feet, but that's all right. We're not judging you, little man. We won't let the other gnomes pick on you. As I'm getting ready to wash that out because I have to go to get the green, obviously, no, just go do all the red shoes first. Any more? There's not enough water in that brush. Yep, I think that is what he needed. No, this is really wet, but before I peel the tape, I'll do lines on the bottom that are black. I have a brush. Yep. Mine's blanking. I'll grab it in a second. It's sitting right here on my desk. His little feet wanted to get one a little bigger than the other two. Doesn't matter. Just paint this one a little larger. And there we go. His little feet are touching. This one's not. But it does have a lot of paint there. It'll take forever for that to dry. Okay, we'll rinse that out. We're going to put the green, and then I'm going to make his shoes same as his shoes. They're just going to be green. So go with the green that was on here already. And then I'm going to dry them with the heat tool. Trying to be really careful not to touch that one. Those red ones are really wet. Go right into that sap green. There we go. And the last one. Grab a little bit of that green gold. I don't have that locked down, so why it's moving all around on me. Okay. I'm going to mute you while I look at those little feet. They definitely needed feet. For sure. I think so. All right. Oh, thank you for joining us, Rob. I am glad you could be here. We are almost And I muted me as I was trying to talk to you. I'm just going to let that cool down for a moment. While it's cooling down, my Sakura, my Pigma liners. This is actually a gray brush pen. So I'm just going to go with their, right, the outline of where their beards are at. I go around, my hand would stop shaking, around their nose. There we go. I just realized that, he's focusing, because I'm trying to hurry and finish up. So, of course, I started concentrating. Stop talking. And I don't like that line, but I can always touch that up with the white if I wanted to. He's resting. He's exhausted. There you go, George. We will be done, I'm sure, before he's done resting. And this was our really fluffy, our fluffy gnome beard. Let's pick up a great big old mustache. Maybe his just curled right up. All right, and then I'm going to go over the shoes. Do the sole right. I'm just running the brush pen right along the tape. Right along the edge of the tape. There we go. I'll bring all these back up so we can look at them all together. Next Thursday, I'm going to be painting some gifts that are for Christmas, so I hope you will join me. Same time. And if you have Christmas projects that you're working on, I encourage you, get them set up and work on them together while we're live, and we can keep each other company. Okay, so there's our little gnomes. I love them. Love them. Okay, so I'm peeling the tape. George says, warn me before doing the cute gnome close-up. So I am peeling the tape, George. We're peeling it now. This is your warning. Get the tape all peeled off. And then I will lift that one up for you guys to see closer. Oh my goodness. I just love their little feet. I think the feet just made it. It just anchored them on the card. Oh, little gnomes. Here we go. I like them. I think this is one of my, that one is definitely one of my favorites. I like the snowman. So we had our very easy, which it fell backwards, so it wanted to sit there, right? Just a background that we can put embellishments on, or we can write with, I'll probably do like the silver Posca pen and put something, you know, on there. Let me just get this out of the way. Then we had our snow globe. So we did the snow globe. I'm just going to tuck that under the palette. And of course, our snowman. So I definitely think that, oh, that one still had salt on it, and brush all that salt off. A little ASMR, sorry guys. Brushing all the salt off that paper. This one still had salt on it, which it's even bolder now. Look at that, with all the salt gone. Timing is everything with salt. To get it to look like that, like it's a snowflake or a star, timing is certainly everything. Let me get that palette out of the way. There, so there were the 4 cards we made today. I had a blast. I hope you did too. I have a lot more cards to paint. I have a lot more ideas to do, so I will be doing those when, I don't know, will it be on a video? Probably not. This is probably the extent of cards for the year. I'll just have fun doing those maybe while I'm watching TV or something downstairs one day, but I enjoyed doing those. I hope you enjoyed watching. So again, thank you to everybody for sticking out and hanging out with me today. It was so great to finally be back. And thank you. Thanks to you, Tara and Joseph, my moderators. Their links are in the description, as I said in the beginning. Please do check out their channels if you have not already after the stream. Both of them have some great videos on their channel. And yeah, next week we will be back, and I'm painting Christmas gifts next week. So do join me for that. Same time. Your favorite is the snowman. Yeah, I love the snowman. I like the gnomes, but I love the snowman. Snowmen are my favorites. So he could have had a scarf or something, but he's fine. He's fine. He's just living his best cold life self. So anyways, if you enjoyed this one today, smash that thumbs up button. It does help YouTube share this with more people. And, you know, if you are enjoying the streams, maybe consider subscribing. I'll see you back here next week at 3 p.m. and we will paint some Christmas gifts. So in the meantime, I'm going to pop another video up for you that you might like to watch, and I'm going to do that right about over here. And yeah, thanks again. I had a blast. It was great to be back. I will see all of you next week. Bye, everybody.